2, 1.
How are you, buddy?
Gary, good evening. How are
you? Another week, another show.
We're going to say another week, another dollar, but we're not earning dollars, are we?
No, we're not earning bugger all, mate, at the moment. I'm being paid in nuts by the BBA at the moment.
It's about right. Same here.
And how's things with you, mate? How's your week been? All good?
I think it's been a good week, to be fair. I said right at the beginning when we started doing Barber's Arms, one of the things that I felt wasn't right was not too much optimism, not too much education and stuff, because I think we didn't know what the story was or how long this was going to be around. But I think the mood of the country's changing. Sorry, the mood of our barbering industry and hairdressing industry is changing. Yeah,
definitely. I think, like you say, we're cautiously optimistic. I think a few things have changed though this week. We've had some guidance off the NHBF, the Barber Council, Hair Council. I think things have come out. I've been speaking to some health and safety executive people who I know very well, and I think people. It's the unknown that people don't like, isn't it? We're quite structured people. We like to know what's happening, and when you've got businesses riding on it, I think we all need to know what's going on. That doesn't mean to say we all needed to go to Southend Beach this weekend. You know, like I saw on the papers. You know, I think that's a bit ridiculous, but yeah, I think some people are beginning to see the end of the tunnel, but we'll have to see. You know, it's I don't know how you feel about it, but you know,
for me this week, in particular today, Fridays are always our busiest day, and especially finishing off with Barber's Arms on a Friday night. I just say massive thanks to everybody who's been tuning in, and another 8,500 viewed last week's show. This is our 7th edition, which is fantastic. Barber's Arms has really captivated this barbering industry, and hairdressers who are joining us as well. So it's been fantastic that the BBA have done that. And from Wahl's point of view, we've been very delighted that you guys asked us to co-host this with yourself. I sent you a message before we went on air today. Couldn't think of anybody else I'd want to do this with, mate, as well. It's fantastic. Yeah, I think, you know, love having a beer with you on a Friday night. It's been it's really good.
Yeah, well, ditto as well, mate. It's you know, I know I spoke to you just before we went on. I went up for a shower, and Rachel's like, "What are you putting aftershave on for?" I said, "Because I'm going out, aren't I?"
Full smell,
yeah. I was nice like you see.
But do you know what? I know we're going to talk a little bit about tonight. We've got 2 great guests coming up as well tonight into the arms. I had a phone call off Chris Barbercon from our marketing department this morning. And it's the first time that I felt it today, that I felt like, okay, we've got 4th of July. Even though as a brand, you know, things might not be the same for me on 4th. I'm rooting for everybody who's got barbershops and hairdressing shops. I can't wait for you all to get back open in a safe way, in a safe environment. The new way we're going to look is going to be amazing. And I've said on a few interviews this week, I saw a clip in the week of, it went through some doors in a salon in Italy, and there was a rope there, and you had to hand your mobile phone into a paper bag behind a visor. Consultation would have. You know, if we'd have seen this though, maybe 4 months ago, everybody would have seen that's really cool. The way these guys are operating the shop, it looks so clinical. We need to. Now we've got to do it. Everybody's like, not moaning, but it's a bit like, we've got to do this, we've got to do that. But just think about it. If you'd have seen it 4 months ago, you would have all been thinking, wow, this, and it'd been, you know, it'd been an internet sensation, this barber cup, but it's just becoming normal that we're all going to have to do it. But I thought it was great. But today we got front cover. We just did a photo shoot just before we finished, before we started lockdown. We got the front cover of Modern Barber coming up. So Sam Campagna were delighted today when we told him that news. And for the first time today, I really felt mega positive. We've got some new products coming out very shortly at Wahl. And so we're going to be ready at the other end when everybody's ready to go back with some busting products, and we're going to be there to support this amazing industry. So yeah, I feel really good, Gaz. My mood's different. Always been positive anyway, but my mood's really good. And I think tonight on Barber's Arms, we're going to have a really good night.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we are. You went on about the guests. I thought we had some great guests last week. the guy Johnny Barber, and you know, different class. He made me laugh, and when I watched it back after, did you see the thing where you said potato? I thought, was that a bit disrespectful? But I know he's a lovely guy, and I know he can take a joke. So well, we had a bit of a giggle there. And
he sent me a present, Gary. He sent me a present. I've not opened it, but I think it's a clock because it's ticking. Don't trade there, fucking say it, man. Pussycat there, just potato. Send you there a present, Shaw. You open that fast enough, see what you're gonna do. I thought Johnny were fantastic. I thought Adam Sloan was superb, and Adam in particular is a big follower of Barber's Arms, and he's been, he watches it. Gary, do you get this as well? I've never watched the show back yet. I watched clips of it. But one thing I've found is that, do you relive the show Saturday and Sunday with the amount of people that phone you up and message you and talk you through things?
Yeah, all the time. I mean, I've got Rachel as well who's watching it, and I don't have to watch it, but I hate watching stuff back anyway like that. But she says, "Oh my God, you two were so funny last night. You said this, you did that. It went really well, or that didn't really go, or you're not having any more moonshine." Stuff like that. She gives me good feedback, But
you've got to keep drinking.
Go on, sorry.
You've got to keep drinking.
I know. By the way, what are you drinking tonight? What we're actually having? What's on the table?
Just started on. I've got some nice with friends tonight. We're gonna have some nice Amigos, which is a nice beer with tequila. I love different gins, but as I've got older and spending a lot of time in Spain, as you do as well, I'm going to have some nice Laros. I love the Laros Spanish gin. Some European teas tonight as well. Friday nights for me as well. It's the only night in the week where I actually feel I've been out, because I struggle when we finish the show. I go outside for a little bit of fresh air, and I struggle to get the handle, and I struggle to get upstairs, and normally get Gret with upstairs is like, "Are you drunk?" No.
Do you know what Rach says? The only thing that's missing is massaging a kebab in the worktop. She says, I don't miss getting up to that, And I said, well, every silver lining, So. Can I just say as well, just before we go any further as well, we're 8 minutes in. If we do drop out there for the audience, please stay with us. We do have a few technical issues. It always seems to be at the beginning of the program, but also I'd like to thank everybody who came on for the cheers portion of the show last week. I know it didn't go as well as we wanted it to. It was a bit, we had our secret weapon, Trevor, sitting in Adelaide in the middle of the night, trying to keep control of it all. But it was really great, and thanks for everybody around the world who joined us and gave us their time and stayed on and give us a cheers. So thank you very much for that, everybody. You were fantastic.
That's the thing as well. That's the one thing that I think we slightly forget with this as well. This is not just UK, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales. We have at least 40 to 50% viewers that are from everywhere: South Africa, America, Canada, New Zealand, Australia. It's fantastic. So I think we've captivated everything. And I keep saying to these people, we want to take this out live after lockdown and we get some normality back. But I think it'd be nice to take it international as well. So first come, first serve. And that's the way.
Well, I'll say cheers to that anyway. Good health, mate. All the very best.
Cheers to you guys. Just bear in mind, whoever's going to book us to go out to do the first show, when you get the aeroplane tickets and everything, bear in mind, when I walk on an aeroplane, I like to turn left as we walk on. Gaz is all right down fucking bottom end, but I like to turn left, just so you all know that.
Oh, thanks very much. Great, that is. Thanks. Yeah.
I'll come and sit with you for about 10 minutes. So, guys, we've got two guests on tonight. We've got an international. We've got somebody from America. Who's that?
We've got Mr. Lee Resnick, fantastic guest. He's going to be joining us in 2 or 3 minutes. I think he's in the green room already. He's the founder of Barbercon, which is the shows in and around North America, and also the founder of BarbershopConnect.com, which is, I think it's a community for barbershop to focus on their work, and we'll find more about that. I'm not altogether sure what the Barbershop Connect thing is, but I've heard of Barbercon. I know we've travelled the States quite regularly, so we know about Barbercon, but we're going to ask him some questions, see how the show situation is going to carry on. And then we've got one of your mates from Scotland, haven't we?
Yes, we're taking it international tonight. We've got a guest on from Scotland, Davey Walker. We're going to share some great stories about. At that time as well, it's great because this is where Davey comes alive around about 9 o'clock. We've got some real funny stories. When I first met Davey at an exhibition one night, and I'm sure Davey will share some stories as well. Some real funny stories coming up there as well from Scotland. And it was nice to see the great Raymond this week on his Facebook talking about the Scottish Barbers Association and his bit of announcement there. I just want to say, Ray, if you can see down here, we've had shit hot weather down there, but you had this big leather coat on, and I don't know if it's still cold in Scotland, but down here, mate, it's been fantastic. Been having barbecues for us breakfast. It's been 30 odd degrees. So at some point when this is all over, mate, you need to take a trip down to the north of England and come and have some Costa del Barnsley with us and take your leather coat off.
Well, can I just get in there as well? We did have a number of guests last week that we didn't manage to get on because we all kind of run over on time-wise. It was the longest show that we've had up to yet, so we ran over a little tiny bit. I know, I think it was about 10 past 10 by the time we finished, didn't we? So our apologies to Raymond. You will be coming on, mate. We will have you back on, and the people who we missed off the list, we will try and get you on in future weeks. So sorry about that, but you know, it is a live show and we just have to roll with it. And Trevor does eventually have to get back to bed, so because we get him up in the middle of the night to do this for us. So thank you very much, mate. Just before we carry on with our guests and we go any further as well, just like to bring up, it's the horrible memory, I know, but it's 3 years today of Manchester bombings, which, you know, our heart goes out to everybody out there. It's very close to us. We're only about 25 minutes from Manchester. Hit everybody very hard and changed the country. I'm sure everybody will agree. So we're just thinking of everybody who's involved with that as well on the barbershop, on the show tonight.
Yeah,
so
there's more important things in life sometimes as well, isn't there? You know, when you think of stuff like that and think of look, we've seen light at end at tunnel here, but wow, openings, barbershops and openings hair salons not as important as everybody getting nice and fit and healthy. For people who've lost loved ones in this time, it's never been in my lifetime. Might have been in yours because you're a bit older than me, but
you know. just 6 months. Still some hair though.
I tell you what, as well. Do you know what? Before we start this, and it's really important, this you see each other sometimes at exhibitions, but sometimes you don't see what you do. And you know, obviously, since this episode, when I saw you first, we've had you to do training for Wahl and things like that. And you know, I've watched you and I've had you on stage as your class. I remember the first time I saw you cut hair, you didn't have a stand there. You were doing something at Manchester, but you cut your Jake's hair. And I just watched and I just loved watching you work, and your work was so fantastically good and precise. And I understand when I see you work as the principal director of Rogers, and you realise how successful you are, because obviously if everybody cuts hair like you, you'll be really good and very good. Very good.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, I mean that first time that you actually saw me cut, it was through you anyway. It was Wall Street, wasn't it?
Yes.
Manchester. And you kindly donated the space. That was representing actual Barber Council. That was for the Barber Council.
Yeah.
For membership, yeah. I know. I reckon it pretty well, mate. Thank you very much again. We owe you a debt as usual.
Yeah, you do owe me a lot of favours. I'm just counting up here. I think it's about 17-1 at the minute. So I'll just
but you got a nice birthday present, didn't you? And
I've just look, my birthday present's right in front. Look, my pad's here, my notepad's here, my pen, Hugo Boss pad. I love it when I send a photograph of people with notes on the going, you big time. It says Hugo Boss at the bottom of your notepad. I got notes from Hugo Boss. Right, are we all set for our first guest?
I think we are. I think Lee is in the green room. Lee, are we there?
Over to you, Gary.
So, ladies and gents, we've got a great, the guy who we're having on, I don't know if everybody will know him, but by the end of this interview, you will do. Hopefully, you'll know a little bit more. He's Mr. Lee Resnick. He's founder of the Barbercon, which is the biggest barber shows in North America. So, Lee, are you there?
I am here. What's up, man? How are you?
How are you, sir? You well?
I'm fantastic.
Only an American can say fantastic, even when it's just
right.
average.
Oh,
Are you going, bro? Are you good?
I'm good. Cheers to you, my man.
Cheers. What are you drinking?
Look, I got this. I'm like a rap artist. I got my drinks in a cup here. You know.
All right. Yeah, cheers.
Cheers to you guys. So what's going on?
So, Lee, just before we start, and we're going to bombard you with questions and pick your brains about Barbercon and everything else, can you just, in a couple of sentences or in a nutshell, just tell us what your background is and where you sit within the barbering industry in North America?
Sure. My background, I actually ran a record company for many years. And then I started BarbershopConnect.com out of Universal Records in 2005. At that time, there was no MySpace. That was actually the time of MySpace. No Facebook, no Instagram. And we became the biggest social media platform for barbering globally. From there, I built the social media and ran it for Oster. Then Persona, Mr. Beauty, Gibbs Grooming, a bunch of different brands. And from there, a TV show, and then Barbercon. So that's my background, I guess.
So what's Barbercon? In a nutshell, what's Barbercon? And how big is it in America?
Okay, so Barbercon, wow. All right, so Barbercon, what is it? Barbercon, my goal for Barbercon when I started it was to bridge the gap from cosmetology to men's grooming. Basically, that sounds sexy, but the reality is I felt like barbers in the States didn't have a show of their own and were really disrespected by major trade shows. And then I saw all these talented barbers and hairdressers that I followed overseas. So I was trying to break down that door globally. So that's how Barbercon was built, you know? So it's like an educational indoor-outdoor festival that feels like you're at a music festival, but it's for hair.
Sounds good. So in terms of shows and stuff that you've done, Lee, who's some of the top barbers that you've had working at the shows?
Well, my first, I was the first to bring Kevin Luchman and Alan Beek to the U.S. on a barber stage. So Kevin was actually my host, and no one in the U.S. knew who he was. Very little. I'd say probably 2%. And those were cosmetologists that knew who he was. And then from there, I've had Josh O.P. I remember when I brought him in, a lot of people didn't know who he was. And then the guys, Mr. Brothers Cut Club from Japan, Alpha Looks from Brazil, the guys from Italy, what's her name? Nay Queen Fades from Rotterdam. My whole thing is globalization, so people can learn techniques from each other, and yeah, I think that's very important.
So Lee, when you talk about Barbercon, I know you're based in New York, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So are these states? Do you have a Barbercon in every state, or do you stick to major cities, or what's the plan with it?
Well, so Barbercon, I think it's sold out for the last 6 years in New York, and you know, I didn't want to get too big because then it becomes a trade show. You know, it's a type of thing that changes every year. So I'm really trying to sell an experience to the viewer and for the brand. if you keep doing the same thing over and over, then it loses its luster. It's like if you see your favorite performer so many times, you like, I've seen him once, I've seen him twice, you know? And again, this, you know, business keeps changing all the time. So, you know, what I've done is I've capped out my size in New York. Then last year I did Los Angeles, and, you know, we had about 1,500 people, and that was sold out in Los Angeles. And then this year we're expanding to Austin, Texas. So I'm trying to go to areas that need a reputable show. So a lot of the time what I do is, you know, I gauge what the people are asking for. So, and then I go from there to build and give people what they want, you know?
So I was going to ask about attendances, but you've just kind of just summed it up there. So is that what you average on, about 1,500 people per?
It's 1,500 to 2,500 to 3,000. But, you know, to be honest with you, this is really important to know. For me, you know, like Barbershop Connect has 1.1 million Instagram followers. But, you know, if you take 300 people and put them in a room and they're engaged, then that's the most important thing. I'm trying to get the quality individual rather than just a body, you know. So like, you know, people seem to be so enamored by numbers, you know, like, oh, the show's got 10,000 people. But if, you know, 5,000 of those 10,000 people are just there to drink and try and get laid, then it doesn't really mean anything. You know, if they're trying to learn, you know, and buy product and expand their business sense, then that is more valuable to me, you know?
The type of crowd that you get then, would you say you get more cosmetologists or more barbers, and do you get a lot of international visitors? Or
He just said he said they just go there to learn a bit of barbering and get laid.
Yeah, I mean, look,
I'm going, baby. That's all it is. I'm on my way to barbercon.com. I'm gonna sit the shit down.
Yeah, listen, I'm being honest. You know, like for me, the first time I did Barbercon, you couldn't move, and it was 98% male, and you felt like you could have gotten your wallet taken by the guy next to you. And I started thinking about it, and I'm like, you know, I have to grow and cross like and get that barrier down. So now it's much more female, which is good. And, you know, again, I think there's a lot more cosmetologists there now from how I've grown the show, which is encouraging. You know, look, it's never going to be, you know, a behind the chair or something like that. But, you know, for me, if I could take, Don Hawley from Layrite and put him in the room with, a cosmetologist that, you know, works for Pulp Riot, then I've achieved my goal, you know, really crossing that spectrum.
Listen, if you can put Don in a room without him falling out with his own shudder, then you've done well.
Thank you. Hey, I've done well by him, you know.
So Gary, he'd have loved to gone to the first ones then, where there were 98% men and that. He likes the sausage fest, guys. That's why he's got his task. He used to be the 5th member of YMCA.
Lee.
Yes, sir.
When we go for a beer and we get the three of us together, I'll slap him in front of you the first thing we do when we get there. Okay. He likes that. He likes being knocked about a bit. He's all right. But Lee, just going back to your to your audience. What do you think about the split with cosmetology and barbering? Because you're having quite a few problems at the moment in the States with defining what the job role is, using a straight razor, that kind of thing. How's that going? How do you feel that's going to go in the future? Right? Are you getting more guys or more cosmetologists that are going into barbering? And you don't seem to have as many barbers actually qualifying in barbering school.
I mean, I'll tell you, so that's a very good question. The answer to that is, it's two pieces. One is I see a lot of cosmetologists that were into barbering. They're excited about the idea of the straight razor shave. Then I see barbers that get really excited about being embraced by cosmetology like publications. When I say that, it's funny to me because as big as we are, like, you know, I see all these barbers putting like the one shot logo on their image to try and get, you know, an award from behind the chair. And the reason why is because it probably opens different revenue stream for them and expands their revenue. So it's quite, I don't know, you know, it's kind of feeding off of each other. The unfortunate thing, you know, for barbers is, especially in a time like this with the pandemic, you really see how divided it is. I find like with cosmetologists, there's not as much public hate. Like a barber, if I post a haircut, they'll tell you whether they don't like it. You know, you very rarely see a stylist say, "Oh, that haircut sucks. Mine is better." You know, you just don't see that. You know, so yeah, I think that the ones who have good business sense have embraced the growth, and the ones that don't are happy doing a $12 fade. You know.
Yeah.
No, I think it's yeah. You've got it. I like it when people do shows because there's. You'll have seen in the UK, barbering maybe 5-6 years ago, there were no shows really. It was all like hairdressing shows, selling international professional hairdresser shows. Now you've got obviously lots of, you've got Barber UK, you've got Barber Connect, you've got, you know, there must be like fucking 700 barbering awards to win as well. In our eyes, there's only probably 2 to win in the UK, which is the BBA one and the Wahl Barber of the Year. We would say that on this show, by the way. Just before you carry on, Gary, we've got lots of people joining us there. We've got Carl Smith, we've got Alison Bailey, Ryan Dutton, we've got Colin Orton, Gary Cooper, Rick Roberts is joining us again. All these guys are regulars here on Barber's Arms, and also Nick Nicasso from London is another guy who's joined us. Lots more will go from as we continue the night.
Right, so just leading on to what's happening at the moment then, Lee. So I know you're based in New York. How's things in New York? Are you free to open at barbershops at the moment, or how's the situation with you?
It's shops are closed here in New York. You have 2 types of barbers. Okay, you have the type that, you know, when the pandemic happened, they came out and said, "Oh, I'm good. You know, I'm not worried. I saved my money." You know, if all these other barbers were panicking and flipping out and only have a 2-week saving, they did it to themselves, right? Those barbers are now freaking out because it certainly has lasted longer than it has. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I feel bad. It's sad because, you know, so barbers have been, you know, labeled non-essential here. But the reality is a lot of barbers have done this to themselves by operating businesses not properly. You know, you have barbers that are unlicensed, and you have, you know, a lot of barbers who have run a mediocre business. So it's unfortunate. Like just the other day, I had about 7 different barbers email me a video of a barber fighting a client over a mask. And they wanted me to post that. And I said, it's great content, but how is this going to get your shop reopened? You know, how is mainstream America going to look at barbers, you know, and the craft of barbering seriously if 2 guys are kicking the shit out of each other in a barbershop? The truth is, it isn't. So, you know, the reason why I started Barbershop Connect was to create revenue stream for barbers from behind the chair. And, you know, so even though I see stuff that may do well online and visually, I try and steer away from that now, you know. But to be honest with you, shit, it's bad right now. It's a bad time, you know.
Yeah.
Fortunately,
I was speaking to some of our American artistic team out there. I was speaking to Corey, who's been one of the guests on here, Corey Hull, and he was saying, I think in the state of California, there's certain cosmetologists and barbers that are suing the state in terms of, not being able to open or to trade. So it's pretty tough out there. I was amazing watching, I don't know if you saw it, Gary, on the news as well, the food banks, I think it was in New York, and the queues were for like a mile and a half, but the cars that were in the queue were Mercedes, Chevs, they were like big cars, like really expensive cars, and these guys were queuing up for food banks. And it just shows you the state of what's happening out there. I think
Simon, let me tell you something. I have enough toilet paper to wipe my butt and your butt for the next 6 years, because my wife is insane with that. So I got literally next to me, I got a mountain of toilet paper. You know, like, listen, forget beer. I got beer and toilet paper. That's what I got in this house, you know? But
so talking to toilet paper and what you use it for, I'll ask you a direct question here. What's your views? Because I've got my own views on this. What's your views on celebrity barbers?
Okay. Celebrity barbers, like, to me, that was very last year. So like last year, every barber wanted to be a celebrity barber. So if they cut one celebrity on their Instagram profile, it said they were a celebrity barber. This year, to me, has been the year of the educator, where any barber who has a social media following has deemed themselves an educator. The scary part about it is a lot of brands bought into that quote unquote influencer hype of social media. So now they take someone who really doesn't know how to educate and puts them on a stage, and now all of a sudden they're an educator. So, you know, it's a little scary. So, you know, the celebrity end to me is not as scary as anything else. You know, it's kind of like laughable to me at this point.
The thing is there, Lee, and it really, this is one of the questions we were going to ask you anyway, but it leads really well into that. With education, there's different levels of education, but with education there goes a responsibility as well, doesn't there? You know, to do it well, and it's for the sake, because you're messing with kids or apprentices or trainees or whoever it is with their future as well, aren't you? Of course. So in America at the moment, barber-wise, who does it well at the moment? Who would you say? Who's impressed you at the moment? Who's doing it well in North America?
Well, look.
Or is there anybody?
You know, this is what I've learned with stuff like that. It's when I hype somebody up, they make money and then they forget. Okay, no matter who they are. You know what I mean? So that's just the reality of it. You know, I can tell you, you know, I think he's
okay. Then listen, Lee. Let me stop you there. Then, if you don't want to name anybody, if what is the state of barbering education in North America? Then is it going well?
No. Let me answer it like this, okay? You know, I don't even look at it as North America. I look at it globally, okay? So, you know, in order to get a diverse and big following, you have to embrace everything. So when I say that, like, what is it, Frank Reamer?
Frank,
you know, yes,
he's one of
yeah. So he's a guy, whatever. He'll post, and I've never met him. I know nothing about him personally, but if I post a DA haircut from him, that haircut is not that fashionable here in the States. So I understand, you know, the target audience of who's embracing that, you know? So I'm kind of taking 2 steps back, domestically speaking, but gaining globally, okay? So here in the States, if you could do a good fade, barbers love you, okay? So barbers, what they're learning from is mostly on YouTube. They're seeing these guys who are walking them through, you know, haircuts on YouTube. So you have a few barbers that are very good at putting up videos regularly on YouTube. You know, the problem with Instagram is it's the dessert without having the appetizer or the main course, okay? So you're showing the end result, but you're not defining the process, okay? And, that is the part that is a little frustrating. So, for me, there are guys who do a lot of certain haircuts very, very good. Diversity, there's not a lot that are diverse where every day they're doing something completely different. I would say I'm probably the biggest voyeur within this business. I do a lot of time researching and studying why things are the way they are,
So Lee, I don't know if you're familiar with the Yorkshire accent in the UK. So where we're from, it's just funny how you Americans tell a story, but you make it sound really, really cool. So if that question was asked to me in a Yorkshire way, I'd have gone, yeah, we shit hot at it. But just to give you a question, English barbers versus American barbers. Where do you think strengths are?
Okay,
what would you...
English barbers, way more shear work, way more understanding.
Shears, you mean clippers or scissors?
No, it's scissors.
No, scissors.
Yeah, way more scissor work. Derived from Italy. I think that a lot of UK barbers learn a lot from what goes on in Italy. Way more understanding of print and final presentation. I think that US barbers aren't as good as understanding the importance of light and photography into the presentation of the final work. That's what I get. I also find that the UK barbers are not living through their phone the way the US barbers are. So like example, for us, you would think that UK, as big as the barbering scene would be more engaged. But our second biggest audience is Brazil, the Latino market, and then there's the UK. I think that here, barbers seem to be way more excited about the hype of being famous,
Yeah. I think it's time for a shot, Gary.
I've travelled all across North America for the last few years, and I think we've met once, but across a room almost. I've worked from one, from the West Coast to the East Coast, and I've found with a lot of barbershops, or male grooming, should I say, is exactly what you've said. There's a lack of shear work or scissor over comb. I think that's very much so. Probably in the consultation at the beginning as well, almost putting a guard on the clipper before they've even asked the client what they're doing or what they actually want. I found that really really important. But also, I think from the formal training, the way you run it in America is you get your license, then you get a job, then you almost start your journey into the industry. Whereas it's the other way around here. We tend to use an apprenticeship approach where you're mentored through your training. And I think that really shows in a way that in cosmetology school, and for the viewers out there who don't know the American market or the North American market, you go to cosmetology school for usually, depending on what state, for 9 months, get your license, then you get a job, don't you? And then you go onto the floor and you learn the trade properly then. I think there's not enough importance put on the basic principles of barbering, of using shear over comb, scissor clipper over comb. There's a lot more use of guards and shapes on the consultation side of things isn't worked on as much. Not that there isn't great barbers out there or great male grooming salons out there. It's just that's the thing that I picked up working across the States. So I think that's one of the things that that's really shone and what there's a lot of crossover from cosmetology going into male grooming. I mean, most of the places I've been in there to train or to teach in, they've all done ladies' hairdressing as their primary role and then moved over to barbering, or they've wanted to go into male grooming, and that shows in a lot of the work that's out there. And I'm sure that's the way a lot of people go that have come through your ranks as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, you see, there's a small percentage that really get it and want to be the best they could be, and then there's a percentage that want to be about speed and get you in and out of the chair as fast as they can, you know, and try and make as much money as they can as fast as they can. So, you know, I mean, you know, especially when it comes to service. Like I remember, was it last night or the night? No, 2 nights ago, I had Marcel Vivat. You know, Marcel charges $450 for a haircut, and there are a lot of barbers that, you know, couldn't believe that he would charge that amount of money. And I think a lot of it comes into the experience and the process of the haircut. You know, I think that again, you know, in a time like this, I feel bad for a lot of barbers I know who invested a lot of money into their shop to have a high quality shop, and now they're being held back by a lot of people that unfortunately didn't. You know, what do you?
Lee, talking of states, if you watch Barber,
Lee, do you want to nut?
Okay, cool. Oh, nice. Yeah, I know. I got you. All right. Go ahead.
I'll just say, talking of states, if you've been watching Barber's Arms, Gary's been in the right state most weeks. It's the moonshine. It's the moonshine. Just before we have a shot, we've got Brian Guam, your Canadian missus, Gary's joined us. We've also got Carl Smith, who's back in the house, who's telling me to button my shirt up, but I'm trying to do the Simon Cowell tonight. Andrew Brewster, we've got Jim Shaw, who's the current British Men's Hairdresser of the Year and the International Men's Collection winner of the year. Great guy, Jim, from Tony and Guy. And we've also got the great Raymondo Simmons, who's joined us as well. Ray, if you missed it earlier when you if you'd not joined us, I was just saying to everybody that you've got your big leather coat on, and we've had shit hot weather down here in the north of England. So when you're ready for a vacation, if it's not safe to travel abroad this year, come down to Yorkshire and get some of this Costa del Barnsley sun that we're having down here, which is fantastic.
Lee, I'm just going to make a toast. This is to our Canadian friends, and especially Mr. Brian Gone. We've tasted this over the years. Are you familiar with this, Lee? It's,
what?
Fireball.
Of course, I'm familiar with that.
This is a really bad habit I picked up in North America when I was on my travels, doing 2 weeks every month out there. And Mr. Brian Gong got me into this really bad habit of drinking this all the time. So
better you than me.
Good answer.
You. No, I'm a strict draft beer kind of guy now.
Well, we've got that as well. We've got some nice IPAs and things like that as well.
When I was in the UK, I think I just drank Newcastle. But I'm not. I think, you know,
Newcastle Brown.
Yes, I like that.
Oh, that 30 years ago, that was my most favorite beer. I can't drink it anymore. It's too strong.
Okay. Hey, Simon. Simon, yes. Let me ask you, when am I going to see you at Barbercon?
I think, you know, sometimes my travel with Wahl is obviously dominated by training the artistic team members, and you go from show to show. But listen, invitations always open. We're looking for our first ever Barber's Arms to go live. So it sounds like a great opportunity for you to get Barber's Arms live for the first time after lockdown to do Barbercon. So yeah, I would like your stage up. They would all enjoy that, me on stage and me and
I'll tell you, like yourself, Johnny Barber. There are a lot of barbers that I see that I'm always like, you know, because I've always wanted to go to Barber Connect, but it never worked out for me. You know, it's funny because I feel like most of the barbers won't even know who I am. Like, you know, because I've done a good job in hiding my visual appearance. That's why I always laugh when you put me on a flyer. I'm like, who the hell wants to see me? You know, they really just want their work posted. But yeah, I'd love to meet you guys one day and have a drink with you. You know, I would definitely be up for that. You know. Yeah.
Well, I missed it this year. Obviously, we're an American company. We're based just outside Chicago in Sterling. So as Gary, I traveled to America quite a lot, and I've really missed doing Chicago this year. I missed the ABS show, missed the Florida show. So I'm sure at some point when things get to a safe level and we can travel again, I'm sure our paths will cross. and be first. Get Barber's Arm live in America. You can be the first man to. You're the man who fetches people first to your stages. So what about having a full hour of Barber's Arms, and we get some barbers on there. We interview them on stage behind this backdrop, and Garry will fetch his. He's the global ambassador for moonshine.
Okay, well there you go. All right, so we'll drink up to that, my friend. You know,
that's another bad habit picked up in Tennessee. So that's not enough said about that. But anyway, Simon, you've got some questions to wrap this up, haven't you?
Yes, I've changed them a little bit for our viewers because we're doing lots of interviews for a week. So I'd like to get a personal profile of people, which are favourite food, favourite things. But we've changed the questions a bit. So you're going to be the first one to get these, Lee. So quick fire answers if you can, and then we'll build a little profile of you at the end of it. So first of all, what's your favourite aftershave or your favourite cologne?
My favorite cologne is, it's probably called Stankonia. Okay. And it's when I don't shower for like a week. Okay. I like the smell of how I smell, you know?
Oh, so you don't really use a fragrance?
No, I do. But to be honest with you, I don't even know what they are. You know what? It's Jean Paul Gaultier. And, you know, in telling you 100% real, it was actually, I was staying in someone's apartment in LA and I was spraying it on myself and then found out that it was his roommate's girlfriend's perfume. And I was like, oh shit. So then I went to the store and found out they had a male version. So I bought that. That's how I got put up on that. But outside of that, that's what I use.
We'll go with Jean Paul Gaultier.
Okay, fair enough.
What's your favorite ever concert that you've been to? What's your favorite concert that you've been to?
My favorite concert? I was on tour with Eminem. So it would be the Anger Management Tour. That was the best experience I've had. 30,000 people a night.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Another question here. Who would be your ideal date? If you could just pick one person, who would you like to have a date with?
My ideal date would be my wife if she ever likes me, you know?
Safe bet. It's a pussy answer, but
safe.
It's a safe bet. Lee, who's your favourite clothes designer?
My favorite clothes designer. Well, listen, Simon, I don't think I'm as fancy as you. As you can see, I'm in a white t-shirt. So oh man, my favorite clothes designer. All right, you know what? I like Yeezy sneakers, not for Kanye West, but for the comfort. Yeah,
same. I had a ball in Chicago. Found a shop there, and they had in the UK we hardly get them when they come in. You've got to you pay over odds for them. Went into a shop in Chicago and they had every Yeezy that it was like a dream. I ended up buying 2 or 3 pairs. And last question: dogs or cats?
I didn't hear you. Oh, cats. I have a Persian cat. I have a Persian cat.
So here we have it, ladies and gents. We've got Lee Resnick. His favourite aftershave is Jean Paul Gaultier. And his favourite concert when he was wearing his aftershave, he was watching Eminem on the Anger Management Tour. His ideal date on that tour there with Eminem watching the Anger Management, wearing his Jean Paul Gaultier would be his beautiful wife. He'd be wearing some fantastic Yeezys because he likes to look cool, but also likes the comfort of wearing those really classic Kanye West trainers. And he'd be having his Persian cat with him. Wow. Lee Resnick, you need to be the first to get me and Mr. Machen, the Machen Meister, to Barbercon, and we do a Barber Arms live in America. You're a top man.
Let's do it. All right, my man. I appreciate you having me.
No worries. Ladies and gents, Mr. Lee Resnick. Whoa.
Lovely to meet you, Lee.
Gazza. It's been more, that was really good. I mean, so knowledgeable, this guy. I'd love to have a conversation with him live in person now. And spend a bit more time with him. I think you said that before. You met him at some point through a busy room or whatever.
Yeah. The thing is, you know, people like that, we haven't got enough time, have we? You know, I mean, I bet he's got some great stories. I mean, you know, probably a lot that we can't air, but I bet he's got, if he's waiting for a record company, he's got some great stories.
Very interesting guy, and you know, I think all Americans tell a fantastic story. Sometimes when I've been in conferences and stuff, they get up to the presentations, and it is they like to talk. But I for him, I just like kind of hang on to every word he was saying there because I really enjoyed what he was saying. He's got his head screwed on. He's not a barber as well, so he just does it from a commercial point of view. He knows what's happening. You know, I really enjoyed that.
Wait, come on, lightweight.
Oh my goodness! I am drinking Amigo, which is lager and tequila together.
What's that mean? That's the biggest cop out I've ever heard in my life.
I'm on it. I'm going to have it.
Come on, get it in you.
Just let Jackie and Ross know. I've still got my. These are lovely. They're proper Spanish ones. These as well. You know when they've got them tops on them that you can.
Yeah, it's for lightweight. It's for lightweights. That is. So you can't pour too big a measures. That is.
No, I like it because you can show off. Not that I like showing off.
Can I just mention a couple of people as well?
Of course you
we've got Malachi, who we worked with on the Happy Skills team many moons ago, but he's the funniest guy, especially, and we need to get him on here, but he's the funniest guy you've ever met. You know Malachi anyway, don't you?
Yes.
So Malachi Weatherall, he's in Northern Ireland. He lives in Bath. He's the nicest, one of the nicest fellas. He's got more stories on Eric than you'll ever find in any book. They've done so many things to each other, like shaved each other's eyebrows off, got naked, nearly broke each other's jaw. They used to room together when we used to be away. So they've got so many stories. But I just like to say hi to and his family.
We'll have a shot. We'll have a shot to Malachi then, yeah.
Malachi, you good health, sir. All the very best. Woo, baby. Oh, this is going to be a fun night. By the time Davey gets on here, I hope he's drinking with us all the way through, or else we're going to be on different wavelengths tonight, to tell you. Are you sure there was something in your glass then?
I took you a little bit. Honestly, I've been getting really drunk on these evenings, so I've poured a gin and tonic, but I'm just a little bit out of the bottom one because I prefer a longer drink. I can't. It's my age. I can't shoot like you guys do.
You're 6 months younger than me.
I know, but it's still, you know, it's like too much drinking of it years and that. I have to watch it. I really let myself down last week. I do apologise to everybody. When I said I'll see you in 3, I'm just going for a wee. I left my headphone in, so everybody came to the toilet with me, which you, Trevor, Jackie, Ross, everybody's from Saturday morning onwards. I had to live with that. That you know, you went to the toilet for a wee and everybody could hear you, which is really good. Yeah, Gaz. Well, you know, like we every week we come on and we ask people different questions, but I interviewed an old colleague of mine today, John Peers, and it's nice to find out a little bit about if everybody's watching and that. If I ask these questions to people as well, you know, if you've gone to a concert, you and Rach, what would you go? What if you went to a pop concert? What would you like to go see?
Well, Rachel kills me every time on this. I mean, we spent this up until lockdown. We spent so little time together. I mean, you know how you take your partner out for birthdays, anniversaries, Valentine's Day. I think I've done one Valentine's Day in the last 5 years at home. I've missed every birthday she's ever had. Anniversaries just out the window. I'm lucky if I'm here for kids' birthdays, let alone anything. It got so bad that family meals like Mother's Day and stuff like that, they used to stick a photo of me on the chair and then send me a photo of them having dinner.
Oh, Rachel, if you can listen to me, Rachel, it sounds like a right catch. No Valentine's.
The last time we went to a concert, we did. Robbie Williams, he's a local lad to us. He was born about 5 miles down the road, and we went to the Etihad and watched him there. And it was just after. It wasn't long ago. It wasn't long after the Manchester bombings, and we had to walk about 5 miles to the venue. And then, in fact, they wouldn't let all the city centre was on lockdown. No taxis, no public transport. So you had to walk in, walk out. And we got so drunk because we every pub we passed on the way in and every pub we passed on the way out, we had a quick Swifties.
Gary, every story you tell at some point is, and you know what? We had to have a drink. We got so drunk. You're terrible because you know you've seen it. I've seen it when we're absolutely hammered, and you know, but you fought. Even if it's not your turn, you go to the bar and get extra drinks in. And I'm looking at him going, Gary, I can't drink anymore. I think Phil Jarman's just said, you Northern lads can't drink. Well, Mr. Scottish, wherever you live, you don't live in Scotland anymore now. You've deserted down south somewhere. And we'll take you on for a drinking. Next time we're doing a Barber's Arms, wherever you are, we'll invite you in and you can drink with us on these Amigos. And let's see then how good you are at it.
Do you know, we were supposed to do a Robbie concert. He was doing one. Have you ever heard of Port Vale Football Club?
Yes, didn't they?
So Port Vale are in the lower leagues. They're in below Stoke. Because I'm a Stoke fan, and they're way down. And just get that in for the Vale fans locally. But he's the Vale Park is like literally a stone's throw from Robbie's old house, and he was doing his concert at Vale Park, which is fantastic, and it was in June. And it's just been cancelled, obviously, because of what's happened. So Rachel's absolutely gutted. So actually, I wanted to take her to Vegas. He was playing Vegas for a number of months.
Is Rachel near you?
No, she's upstairs.
Oh, is she? So have some balls about you then. Who, if you went to watch Robbie Williams' concert again with, who would you like to take with you? Who would be your ideal date?
Oh, well.
Besides me.
Other than you, because you smile so nice, it'd be Callie Brooke or somebody like that. Yeah. I mean, my lady looks like Callie Brooke anyway, so I wouldn't know the difference.
Ken Lee's just come down into the kitchen. She's making into the bar kitchen. And she just said, I've got to mention the boys because they've been waiting upstairs and it's way past the bedtime. So, Tommy and Taylor, if you're watching upstairs, watching a movie with all that popcorn and chocolate I fetched you, get to sleep. There you go. Sorry, just another one before we fetch Davey on because he's going to be blind by the time we get him on as well. So you love Robbie Williams, like that last concert you went to, and be Rachel that you'd be on that date with. What aftershave do you like?
No, Callie.
Oh,
Callie Brooke.
Kelly Brooke. That is, Rach does look like Kelly though, so I can see the similarity. Keeping it in the family, the kind of long hair. To be continued, Mr. Machin. To be continued. We've got some more questions coming up. I think we're ready for our next guest. We're going to take this international tonight on Barber's Arms. I think it's the first time we've had anybody on from Scotland. So all you jocks up there in that old cold weather that you've got up there, here we have the one and only Mr. Davey Walker. Welcome to the Barber's Arms, Davey.
Are you there?
I never heard any of that, but how come I'm getting the New York backdrop? No, I'm not getting the pub.
Oh,
you're not in New York?
No, but I'm on the Sex and City 3 set.
Sex and City, that'd be good. That would be a watch. That get Davey Walker on Sex and City. Fuck me, that would shake it up. I would buy the box set for that. Davey sat there in middle of Sex and City. Davey, it's great to have you on the arms.
Davey, welcome anyway. Nice to see you, mate.
Oh, thanks. Nice to meet you.
Make sure your volume's nice tonight, Davey, on your iPad or your computer or your phone. Just turn your volume up so we've got plenty of volume coming out here. Davey, first of all, how's you and the family?
Yeah, we're all good. Everybody's healthy. We're all staying at home, isolated. Pretty much the same as everybody else. But yeah, we're doing all right. Yourself?
Yeah, well, we're good. For you guys that's just joined us from the UK, we're going to put subtitles on for Davey while he's on there, so all the subtitles in English will come out there. There's only Ross that's there understanding every word, and Ray Simmons that speaks fluent Scottish. Davey, we've got some questions to go through with you tonight. I think you've been a big character.
First, the most important bit, What are you drinking, Davey?
Well, I've drank that. Because I've been waiting all night. Simon told me to start at 2 o'clock.
No, listen, Gary. Trevor sent the email, right? And because it's in Australian time, it's 4:15 till 6:15, right? So he's thinking, I better get on it at 2 o'clock.
I've been sat here before in the afternoon.
Yeah, it said 4:15 a.m., not 4:15 p.m. He's been drinking since 2.
He sent that in Adelaide. He sent that in Adelaide time. You have to look at the British summertime at the end.
Well, I wasn't sure. If you told me you were in Adelaide, then I would have stopped drinking. But hey, oh. And then another thing, I was told by Simon when I was coming on this, it would be like for movie questions and fun facts. I mean, that following the guy on for there, it sounds quite professional. So I'm not too happy I've thanked all these. That's
hey, listen. That'll just be from his reserves. That the cellar at the Walker household is massive.
The Stella.
It goes long and deep. So, David, I can remember the first time I kind of met you, and I know you'd been watching things that were happening at Wahl and stuff, but I think the first time you ever came in my company, we'd finished the show at Barber Connect, and we were staying in the Hilton Hotel, and they had that big white piano there.
Oh, man.
And there was somebody there that went and played some, I don't know if you were there, Gary, but there was a guy there that could play the piano, and there were about 20 of us just sat around the piano till about 4 in the morning. And I got up for breakfast because obviously we've got to be on stage early. And Davey was still asleep on piano about 5 o'clock in the morning. I might lean over it. That's the first time I met Davey, and then
I'll tell you the story about that. So when everything kicked off in the whole barber trade and everything was going mad, and so we took a barber bus from Glasgow. So there was like Safe Hands, there was Tony Kearney, there was guys like myself. I took my model. I was doing a presentation of a haircut on a stand for Osmo. It was like 7 hours of drinking and partying, but I never drank the whole way because I thought, you know what, I'm going to turn up, I'm going to be professional, I'm going to do this, and it's my first big shot at doing the limelight. So the whole bus was all, as you know what happens in a bus, all the way down there. We get to it, 7 hours it took us to get there. My model got absolutely wrecked the whole way down there, and then Tony Kearney and all these guys are all in my room. I've only just met them, Barbers for Glasgow. And then I'm like, listen, I said, I've got something to do for Osmo tomorrow. I said, I can't do this. I can't sit up all night drinking. I said, I'm going to my bed. So I never had a drink. Went to my bed, went into Barber Connect, and the Osmo stand was right across from the Wahl. There was like a Wahl set up stand here, and I'm there, and I'm like, oh my God, here we go. We're on the biggest guys in the industry, and there's a wee fat guy from Paisley turning up to do a hair demonstration on a stand at the time what it was. So I said to my model, I was like, listen, this is what we're here for. There was a bar at the end of the hallway, and when I did my demonstration with him, I said, let's go back to the hotel. So the hotel was like a 5-minute jaunt down the road, but you had to get a taxi because you couldn't walk it because it was like mad roads. So we ended up, I kept myself conserved because I'm going to stay professional. This is my first big gig. I was just a front of Wahl and all this kind of stuff. So let's go back. So we went back to the hotel. So getting to the hotel, and I didn't see any barbers. I didn't see anybody who I knew at that time, because at this time I didn't, apart from the known faces, you know. So I hadn't drank. Been on a 7-hour bus journey to get here. Overnight with drunks and all the rest of it. So gets back to this hotel bar, and the classical music's playing away, and I'm thinking to myself, do you know what? That's it. I've done it. I phoned Osmo. I spoke to Sinead at Osmo and said, it's all done. It's all professionally, blah, blah, blah. Is that me off? I'm off shift. Yeah, you're off shift. I said, oh, that's great. So I was sitting with model Graham. I said, so I dragged this guy from a scheme in Paisley to the middle, the middle of Wales. He's enjoyed himself on the way down and to the whole thing. So we're sitting there, and I think to myself, right, do you know what? I'm going to have a glass of wine. That's it. We'll have a glass of wine. We'll enjoy ourselves. We're not staying in a hotel. We don't know anybody else here. Let's have a glass of wine. But a glass of wine goes. I had about 3 or 4 bottles of wine, and I remember just like watching the Wahl team all walk in, and everybody started to gather. I'm going, oh, hold on a minute, I'm absolutely blathered here. The guys, I'm impressed, and I've looked up to, and I've seen them on TV, and I've seen them on websites, and signing on the picture of a box. They've just walked in, and I'm absolutely legless at this stage. And the fear factor kicks in. So the last I remember was I woke up in the morning, so I staggered all the way through the hallway to the breakfast area, was the bar the day before. And then all these people who I know from celebrity barbering and stuff like that, I was going, "Hi Davey, you all right? You sobered up this morning?" I'm thinking, I don't think I've ever spoke to him. Why did they know me? And I'm standing at the breakfast table and I'm waiting on the slices of toast coming out, and you can just see everybody going, "That's him there, that's him there." And I'm thinking, oh my God, I've really made an absolute pig's ear here. So I goes back to the room, and I was trying to find my model, and he disappeared. He hadn't been there. I hadn't seen him for about a day. So he came down the hallway, he met somebody else and sat in their room and come down, and I said, "What happened last night?" He said, "Do you not remember, Davey? Do you not remember what happened?" And I'm like, "No," because I was trying to keep myself a bit conserved. He says, "What happened is you were about 3 to 4 bottles of wine in after your dinner when the Wahl team turned up, and then I'm pretty sure it was John Bourne or something like that. I think you pronounced his name. And then he said you were doing Paolo Nutini." My pa was playing the model that I brought down was playing Paolo Nutini on the piano while I was singing in a foyer of a hotel at 4:30 in the morning, where everybody sat around the whole foyer and we were singing. And I'm not the best singer. He certainly couldn't play the piano. And then in the morning, and I think it was Michael Damio will come up to me and he says, "Oh, wow, you did well last night." And I'm thinking, what has I done? So a professional trip turned out to be a wee bit of a swazzle, but it turned out all right in the end. And Simon still talks to me today, so it can't be that bad. But
well, there's no danger. Let me clear it up for you, ladies and gents. If you're watching, he can't sing, and it was a mess. In fact, I've never seen a man as drunk in my life. But I mean, that's not where some of the story ends. I remember somebody telling me at Salad International that we were saying, said, "Oh, Davey's gone to bed," which was about 9:30. He just gives some red Artex to the hallway upstairs. Lots of funny stories. I remember being at Shabba with you once, and we came out of Shabba Awards. We've been to a casino afterwards for some after drinks. And I remember walking up to a hotel. We're sitting at the Radisson, and I think it was about 2 o'clock in the morning. My phone rang, and he answered. As I got my phone out, we were both staggering up, and he answered the phone. And obviously, I didn't know we were on phone, and he answered it. And to be fair, what he said, I could not understand it to this day. Neither could the person that were other end of the phone. But it was really funny at the time. And all he wanted to do was get back into Radisson and see power up. And I went to bed, and I think he stayed there till about 3 o'clock in the morning, arguing with the bar staff about getting another drink. Davey, how's life treating you in lockdown?
To be honest, I mean, I know everything's going on, and I know that the whole country's fighting against this massive virus, and everybody's out there in the NHS are doing a fantastic job. Myself, on my personal take, I've seen a different side. Been able to I'm at home constantly because I work like over 8 hours a week in the shop. Some nights I'm in there at 12 midnight, and a Thursday and a Friday, and then I'm back in at 6 a.m. in the morning. So for me to I'm at home, and I've got a 1-year-old as well, so I'm home more, and it's been nice for me personally. It's been a nice experience. It's nice to just see how everything works when I'm not here. Obviously, wish it was in different circumstances, but And the whole light I'm taking of it, it's nice to spend time with the family and the kids. Apart from the
Davey,
the fighting all day.
Davey, just from a business point of view, I know you've got your own, you've got one shop, haven't you? And you're in Paisley, yeah?
Well, we're in Paisley for 10 years and we've just moved up to Barhead, which is about 1.5 miles outside Paisley to get out of the town centre rush. But yeah.
So how do you feel it's going to go back? I know we're all in the same country. We're in the UK, but I know it's very slightly in Scotland. What information does Scotland give you at the moment? What's happening with barbering and hairdressing in Scotland?
We're in phase 3 at the moment, which, I mean, Nicola Sturgeon has been really good throughout the whole thing. She's indicated that we've been phase 3, so we worked out from the 28th of May, we should go back round about the 9th of July. We are, I mean, I'm a massive it's hygiene over the top barber as it is. So if you come in with common cold, flu, anything that can be contagious, I'll remove you from the shop, because as you know, as a barber, when you're in that shop environment, if somebody comes in with this, I mean, I had 2 years ago, we had a guy who came in with the flu, and before you knew it, I had 7 staff, I was down to 3. I mean, it can spread in this environment so vastly. So I'm always, so my regular clients always get emails. If you have the novovirus, any viruses at all, just don't come to the shop. I'll leave you the book through Nearcut, and it's prepaid, and then we'll always refund them and always. But I'm very, very, very conscious that anybody comes in and coughing and spluttering, because at the end of the day, if I can't work, then so this virus definitely we actually shut down before the lockdown. We actually reduced our hours, and we started to create and get ourselves into a mindset. This is actually happening. So,
have you had the date yet? I mean, is the date same as us? Are you guys looking to get back on the 4th of July?
No, we're actually later than England. Scotland's going to be later than England, so we're looking around about the 9th.
Hey, Simon, have you been toilet again? I've just asked him that.
Oh, sorry. These guys sending me loads of messages. I'm trying to read. I'm trying to read the video printer as we work. Sorry, Davey.
I think it's due. I think you're due for a drink anyway, because you're obviously not paying attention. So good out, Davey. All the very best, mate.
All the best, man.
Cheers. All the very best.
So what's next for you, David, when you get back? What's your big aspirations? What are you looking to create? Because I have to be honest with you, and this is what we like. If we're having a beer in pub and that, we'll say, like, remember 3 years ago, you were about a lot. Everybody saw you, and then some people said, "We haven't seen David for ages. We ain't heard out of David. He's gone off the radar." So, what's the story? Have you just been concentrating on different things? You've not been going to shows
well, that's a good question, because as you know yourself, so I'm a British Master Barber Ambassador, Wahl Ambassador. I've been running the ABA with James Williams, but I'm a co-founder of. We're working with Tom Chapman with the Lions Barber. I've been an ambassador for that. I've been running shows for the Best of British, which I'm the actual founder. I've been doing the Outlaw Barber training courses as well, and so we were doing a lot of things. And then just a couple of years ago, I mean, I think we were just about to do a show together in Manchester, and I had to build out for family reasons, you know, which I won't talk about online, and you know, but we came out, and you know, our son was born, and everything's been fine after that.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, my personal life's more took over. I have stopped all my training, and I've stopped everything barbering wise, but I've not stopped my barbershop. I've stopped the other side of the barbering, and taking time off, and just, you know, 4 years of my life I've been traveling up and down from Wales and up and down from Manchester, and you know, I've done I've done a lot. I'm here, there, and I'm everywhere, and I'm doing online videos, and I'm doing things. I was doing things for Osmo constantly. I'm doing things for American Crew constantly. And see, when you're working 8 hours a week, and then you're coming home, and then you're getting models in at night, and then you're videoing stuff, and you're paying photographers to take pictures. Sometimes you think, where is your time? You know, and my son, I've never even go to see him play football on a Saturday because I'm too busy working, and I'm too busy planning, and I'm too busy.
It's nice. Obviously, people talk and people say, "Where's Davey? He's vanished off face of earth." And you know, I think it's nice that we ask you that question. So all the viewers that watch this afterwards, people are like, "We actually know what Davey for ages." It's, you know, family reasons and family things take over. And I know personally because you've spoke to me. But it's nice to other people to know that as well.
Davey, I think you've hit the nail on the head with a lot of people, and I think sometimes you're a victim of your own success, aren't you? You know, we struggle then to fit in. I mean, if you're like myself and Simon, you know, any opportunity comes your way, it's very hard to say no sometimes, isn't it? And you know, sometimes your home life and your family suffer for it as well. And we've just been talking about that just before you came on anyway. And sometimes you have to just step back and, you know, have a little moment and see what's important in life. And I think this is one of those times where everybody's been stuck at home and you realise, yeah, I've got a nice house and I've got a great family, and, you know, why aren't I here more often, kind of thing. So fair play to you, mate.
Yeah. I appreciate that, mate. And I said, even before the lockdown, I sat down with the wife and I'm just like, I work like 6 to 7 days a week. I was like, so do you know what? It's just I've been I get asked all the time to go and do stuff or go and I'm quite happy just being a barber now. Do you know that? I've enjoyed. I think I've ticked all the boxes I wanted to tick, and I'm so grateful. I've got to meet Simon, and you know, a guy I've seen in a box of clippers, and now he knows me, and we're now friends, and you know, things I've been involved with the ABA. Just before actual lockdown, actually, we get the ABA back up and working with James Williams, who you'll know was. We've been doing great things with the autism kids, and we're about to launch a massive Rangers football club up in Scotland. We're just about to launch in April. We're actually going to go in and do. They've created a like almost a censored off stadium part, and all the kids go in there and enjoy the football without the noise. So we were just in the latter stages of just securing. We were going in there and we're going to have a fantastic day, and Stevie Gerrard and team were going to come up. It's all done and dusted. It just got to the 20th of April when that date was set. We were going to launch that. So yeah, I'm getting a wee bit back into it, but I don't think I want to be too much involved in the way I was. I want to, you know, still do my shop and run my shop, and you know, and then family.
Just 1 second, just Simon, before you go on to, I know you've got a bunch of questions that you want to ask Davey as well. Can I just tell you a little story before we go on? Yeah. I did. Do you know Reed College?
Yes.
In Paisley.
Yeah.
Well, I can't exactly. I mean, the young lady who took me up there, I can't remember her name. It was so many years. It's 20 years ago, or maybe 20. I just started teaching. It was probably I don't know, 2000, 95, 2000, something like that. And she took me up to Reed College. She flew me up there to teach at Reed College, and got into the airport, got in a taxi, and flagged the taxi down, got into it. And the guy who was driving the taxi said to me, because he just bought up Rangers, he says, Rangers or Celtic? And I goes, I'm a Stoke fan. He goes, oh, fucking English. Never spoke to me again until we got to the hotel.
It's rife up there. I mean, when I've been in Glasgow, I think I once did a seminar out there. I was talking to a guy afterwards, and I'm like, so obviously you got Manchester derbies, you'll have your Stoke, Port Vale, and not that that's much of a derby anymore because of the difference in leagues, but I think some of them, Everton, Liverpool, you've got these real tough rivalries, but that one up there, Rangers and Celtic, it's more like the Israelis and the Palestinians. He's rife, isn't he? He's tough.
I'll tell you something. For years ago, I used to work in a barbershop, Kenny's in Welsh Street, and there was guys who would eat green vegetables. They would walk on grass. They wouldn't buy blue extra chewing gum. It's really deep. I mean, it's really deep.
Well, when I worked up there, I was staying in a hotel. I can't even remember the hotel, but the two local teams at the time. Is he saying what are the two local teams there in Bain? St Mirren. Yeah, St Mirren were playing, and the team that was coming in was staying in my hotel. And I went to a pub, and the girl who took me into Recurve College says, "I'm going to take you to a pub now in town." And my husband runs the pub. His name was Gary as well. And she says, "Whatever happens, do not leave the pub. There's football on tonight. There's two teams playing. St Mirren are playing, and you're English, so you're definitely going to get either. So stay in the pub." And it was funny, but the people were so good. They were such fantastic people. But I had you know, when you get young, you always get that local guy who wants to tell you about the pub, the whole history of the pub. I got nailed with him, and he told me everything about the pub, everything about Celtic Rangers, and I had almost an education lesson in Scottish politics. By the time I finished, I felt like I knew the country inside out. It was a great. I think I was there 5 days, and by the time I finished, the Scottish people couldn't wish for any nicer people. They were fantastic, man. Honestly,
we're good souls. We're good souls. But the next time you're here, then I'll take you about, and I'll show you the good pubs.
All right, guys, I think it's time for a shot. Davey, are you ready for a shot? You two will be good at this because Davey's a good drinking partner for you guys. I'm a lightweight, but watch him deck this wine down. What are you drinking?
Good
guys?
house, all the very best.
Well, mine's a little bit of a shot because it is a beer with tequila in it, so I'm doubling up tonight. Oh,
you took a sip.
David,
that's a sip.
What? So looking after this when we're coming out is, obviously you're not doing much education at the minute. You're just concentrating on your business and stuff like that. So obviously coming into 9th of July, which is your day. You keeping in touch with your team, obviously regularly.
Yeah,
and they're all in good spirits.
Yeah. Somebody came over the week. One of our staff, Robbie, a bit of a hard time. So I'm reaching out with him now, discussing with his family and stuff like that. Things are going on, so it's hard. The mental health side of it is coming in. It's approaching us, and today we're for the scenario, which I'm not going to online. But it's
we're not online. We're on Zoom.
Yeah, well, this is.
No, I don't want to do it. I don't. It is Mental Health Week as well, so we've been doing a lot of stuff on interviews as well about that.
Yeah,
David, if we fetch Barber's Arms, we're looking at fetching Barber's Arms live onto the road when we're out of lockdown. So, where would you recommend that me and Gary came if we came up to Glasgow? Where would we host Barber's Arms?
Oh, right in my back garden.
I've got a bar there. Fucking back garden. We'll never get out there. Bear in mind, we've got to get Gary. We've got to get Gary in helicopter back to work for Saturday morning because he's very important to his business. So he needs to be...
Do you want to know the barber list I've had of these guys in my back door? So we've got
what about the horseshoe, Davey?
The horseshoe? The horseshoe bar?
Yeah.
Oh, the horseshoe bar. That's now away.
That's away, is it?
Yeah. It's now a restaurant, I think, the horseshoe bar.
Oh, is it? All right.
Yeah.
So it's gone.
But listen, I can tell you some stories about the horseshoe bar, but pretty much not on this. Nah, you don't want to come. No, listen. You come up to Scotland, you come to my back door. We've had Adam Sloan, I've had James Williams, Gary Cox, we've had Tom Chapman in my back door. He actually sat with me in a hot tub, and Paul Mack. At the time, it wasn't even
You, Paul Mack, and Tom Chapman in an hot tub. Well, that's not fucking Halloween.
Swear to God, no lies.
I'd like to see that.
In a lazy spa.
You wouldn't, Gary.
In a lazy spa. In 3 years.
Oh, in a lazy spa. So we're dropping down from a hot tub to a lazy spa. You, Tom Chapman, and Paul Mack in there.
Paul
wow.
Mack.
Hey, Simon.
That'd be special.
Simon, do you know
Yes,
what they need? Hey, with all them in that, do you know what they need? Is a bottle of matey.
Yeah.
There was too many high sailors.
In Bubbles will be like 10 foot tall. David, we're coming towards the end of the interview because obviously we've got to finish off with me and Gaz, but we always finish off with a few questions to get to know you a little bit for our viewers, to get to know Davey Walker a little bit better. Watch your wine. Obviously, one of the questions is, you like a glass of wine? But we have some quick fire questions here for you. So, Davey Walker, here you go. This is the 5 questions. Kissing or cuddling?
Does it lead to anything else?
Huh?
Is there a third option? Does it lead to anything else?
No, wait, it's up to you. What do you prefer, kissing or cuddling?
If it leads to the third option, then both.
Both. Okay. Wine or lager?
Wine? You could answer that.
Listen, this is an important question to all those Englishmen. World Cup, European Championships. Scotland aren't qualified. You're fucking used to that. So England are playing. England or any other team in the world? Who would you support?
Any other team.
Any other team except England. I can never get that, because I've always been up there, and I'm sat in a bar, and they've got Paraguay shirts on, they've got Estonia shirts on, anybody but England. And I support Scotland.
I don't know you've been in to see Estonia shirts.
Yeah, but when they're playing England, they get the Estonian shirts on. I support Scotland in a game.
The roots are deep. You go back to William Wallace. I mean, he lived about 3 miles from where I stay. I mean, come on.
Well, here we go. Home or abroad?
What?
Home or abroad?
Home.
Home. And what's your number one thing on your bucket list?
Well, it was to meet Simon Shaw. I don't know. Just hopefully everything will get back to normality. And just that's it.
No, if everything had gone back and this hadn't happened, what before pandemic, what would be on your bucket list?
Well, why shouting answer for the next room? Buy a balance play. That was our plans before coming down here. So yeah, I was kind of missold this whole interview because I was told I was going to answer movie questions. So I wrote Toy Story.
Oh no!
We changed it to the last minute.
2, 3, 4.
So what would your first thing on your bucket list at the minute would be just normality?
Yeah, before the pandemic, we were planning go over and buy a place in Spain, and so bucket list, yeah.
Well, is that in Benidorm that you did tell me once that you'd like to
yes,
on the
Benidorm.
So I've got a good memory.
My good barber friend Paul Eusebius, Shettleston Road in Glasgow. We stay over at his house when we go over, and we went over. We were going to tour this month in July, and then buy a place. But I need to see what
listen, it can. You still got to keep your dreams. It can still come. Here we've got Davey Walker from Scotland, who loves a piano as well in a karaoke bar. But he likes to kiss. He likes to kiss and cuddle, whatever it's going to lead to. He obviously loves his red wine while he's kissing and cuddling. He's watching a World Cup game And as long as England aren't winning, he will support anybody, the dirty, dirty bastard. He'd rather be at home than abroad. And his number one thing on his bucket list at the minute is to get to some normality, but he'd love to buy his dream home in Benidorm. Ladies and gentlemen, give a round of applause for our guest tonight from Scotland, Mr. Davey Walker. Well done, Davey. Nice to have Davey on, Gaz. Davey will speak to you afterwards. Nice to have Davey on. Very nice. Nice two guests tonight. We've got the Americans on, Lee Resnick, which were really good. And we've had Davey on there, who is keeping Wolf Bass red wine in very good profits over lockdown period.
You're right now, mate. Do you always have that little feeling of, now, you know, we've made the connection. They've come on. They've got the backdrop. You've given them a good set of security, you know, on questions we're going to ask. Trevor must do that. He must say, "Oh yeah, we're going to ask you this," and then we ask him completely different questions. It's great, isn't it? But well done again, mate. As usual, you've done another fantastic job. But we've got another 10 minutes or so we can just chew the fat a little bit, can't we?
Yeah, I think you know, it's tonight is obviously two different guests again, different to last week, as we have all across this Barber's Arms. We've had, as if you're in any boozer, you meet different people all the time. I really enjoyed Lee Resnick's interview tonight. I thought, you know, I was a bit quiet listening, because I enjoy listening to stuff. Obviously, knowing Davey for a few years as well, it's nice to catch up with Davey and nice to make sure that he's doing well over lockdown. It has been a big thing this week. It's come up a lot on my interviews, which is Mental Health Week. I don't think as guys sometimes, as presenters, as leaders, as like yourself, you've got 5 salons and 50 odd staff, Gary. You sometimes have to be leader all the time, don't you? You know, sometimes you have to take a step back and think, are you okay? I'd love to meet me sometimes and have a chat with me. Do you ever feel like that?
Yeah, it's a funny time. It's like I said to Rach, you know, I was sitting there having my breakfast outside, sun's beaming down, everything's, you know, outward looking inwards, I suppose. Everything couldn't get any better. I'm sitting there in the sun. It's Friday morning. I'm not at work, and but you've still got that stress. You know, when you have that little nag that you've got a list of jobs to do and things that, you know, of just nagging away at you. I don't get that on holiday. I always go. We go to Spain. You know, I love Spain. When I get there, it takes me the first week just wind down. We've got some great staff. And then that next week or two, it's just beautiful. It's just absolutely and utter, like, no worries in the world. Other than, you know, unless the phone rings. If my phone rings, then I think, shit, what's happened at home? But if it doesn't ring, I know I'm all right. But this, it isn't time off, is it? It isn't a time where you can completely relax. I know you work harder than anybody in lockdown that I've ever known anyway. I tried to get in touch with you and you're on a call with being global, not local. You know, you deal with every market in the world. But, you know, the same with myself. We constantly talk. We constantly talk with the BBA and, you know, staff and everything else. But it was the unknown. It's the unknown of not when we're getting back, what we're supposed to do, how's it going to go. I haven't done anything really at work other than general maintenance, improve. We've had our seats covered. You know, I've talked to you about what we've done. We've painted. I haven't put anything in place yet because until we know for definite exactly what we're expected to do, you could be spending money now that you don't need to spend, you know, later on. We bought essentials, obviously, like, I mean, hand sanitizer, ridiculous price. It was cheap as chips before this. Now it's gone through the roof. We found suppliers that are reasonable, that we're willing to. But other things, if you'd have bought them right at the beginning, you know, you'd have paid through the nose. Now they are gradually getting lower and lower, and more people are you know, are in production. Disposable capes, That's going to be. We need 2,000 a week. You know, if you
Yeah,
jump in and, you know,
It's
if
a
you
lot.
jump in and buy something like that and make a mistake, even if you pay 10% over 10% on 2,000 a week is a lot. You know, so I haven't jumped in with anything yet. We're even in negotiations with, you know, going straight to manufacturers and things like that, because the amounts you're going to need for a company, it's ridiculous. So I'm just hanging fire. We're all in it together. I think we all need to share information as well. I think social media has been good for that. I think
you're right, you know, and I think people shouldn't rush. I have a message for everybody tonight, and I look back at our first one, which had 23,000 views on our first Barber's Arms. Looking back all them weeks ago, it seems like ages ago, and I think both of us have grown into this role of chat show guest host for the first barber show in history. I love it where you drink your lager, to be fair, Gary. But I've got a message for everybody out there, and it's as simple as this. I have said the mood of the country is different, and it has been, and I've stuck to everything I've said. I've had a shitter sometimes. I've been, the first 4 weeks for me, you know, ask my partner, I weren't particularly good. I didn't hang around. I was struggling with certain things, and I've learned then to relax a little bit and to take on the work, and normality is interviewing, doing podcasts and stuff like that. Then when we had the Boris Johnson, go to work but don't go to work. If you're going out, stay in, and if you're staying in, you must go to work. It was a load of bollocks, to be fair. But now we got the 4th of July. I think the country has still been good. I've still been, you know, isolating. There's been no other contact. I want to go give my son Alex a big cuddle of my daughter and my grandkids, but I haven't. I've spoke to him with FaceTime, and I've done the right thing. You know, lots of people, friends and family. My son, you know, nobody's asked for hair. You know, I keep saying to her, don't cut hair. Don't, you know, unless you're isolating that person, that it's not. I think rules are going to be. My message to everybody is, for the first time today, the tunnel, there's a light. It's ran about the 4th of July or that first week. We're fucking coming back. We're going to be strong. I'm so blessed to have this job as my position at Wahl. And, you know, listening today to the fantastic people that are working with me. We've got some great products coming out. We've got some new incentives. And I'm excited for the first time through this pandemic. I feel positive, I feel strong, and I feel like we're going to be there to meet you all at the end of this. We're going to supply you like we have done always, and we feel very, very strong here. Very proud to be part of this BBA, what Trevor's done, and Jackie with the ideas of Barber's Arms. It's been fantastic. And I really feel now that the momentum every Friday night, we're going to build strength. I want to hear positive stories. Lots of people who follow us every week. I thank you so much. And I want us every week now to come up with something really nice and positive to say to us all. You know, every Friday night, let's hear a new story. The shops are getting ready. You know, you've got your PPE in place, and everything around you is going to be back. It's going to be different. We know that. Get yourselves ready. It's going to be different. You're going to work harder, longer, for either less money or same money. But together we will be stronger, and we're going to get through this. I just feel it. I feel very optimistic, and that's not the fucking amigo drink I'm drinking, by the way. So I'm not had a lot of tonight.
I was just going to say, how much have you had?
No, honestly, I feel really positive about this. I think we've done right as a country. I think we have. It's been tough, and we've had a lot of deaths, a lot more. We're second in world, barring America, and percentage of people there. But you know, I just think we every Friday now on Barber's Arms, I want people coming on and giving us a positive story, a positive angle on it. You know, I think we've got a great ambassador coming over from India next week on Barber's Arms. And I, for one, I've got to say to everybody out there, listen, have a nice bank holiday weekend, and whatever you've got to do, have 50-60% for your beautiful families that you've all had this time to spend. We've all moaned about lockdown, queuing up at supermarkets. Oh, we're going to wear PP. It's going to happen. Treasure these next few weeks that you're going to get, because you're never going to get them again with the bonuses that the government give you. Treasure them times, but keep one eye on getting back and winning. That's what it's all about. We will fucking do this. I feel positive about it. There'll be big changes around there, but we're going to do it. I feel good.
Yeah, I think everything you've said is fantastic. The other thing, just one more thing that you know, that we talk about. I mean, I know we've tried and touched on it on the exhibition thing and everything else, but just had some news that Dubai show might go. I know we were talking about it, but it's just, we just need those few positives, like you say, for people to look for, to say we're going. I know there's a bit of doom and gloom, and you know that I think the trouble with me is we get a lot of conflicting interests, and with children. I know you've got young kids as well, but schools are on about going back on the 1st or limited if it is for certain ones, and travel. I think they're on about looking at middle or end of July, which I hope so. You know, I really hope so. But the main thing is like you say, it's just having that positive reaction and not just looking on the downside of everything. I think there's a lot of people out there, doom and gloom on social media. Just believe in yourselves as well, isn't it? We know what we can do. We know how.
You know, weeks ago though, we didn't have any light. We just didn't know. Just stay at home. Yeah. And there were deaths every time you put news on, and there still is. Bless everybody. Bless our NHS as well, our soldiers that's done everything. But we have done the right thing. We are coming out of it, and we've still got to be very cautious and very, very alert and stop any spreading. But
don't go to the beach, you fucking idiots.
It's crazy. Just stay back. You know, we got no plans for this weekend. What would you plan? Love to go out for a Sunday roast somewhere, but my cooking's that good that you can't get 5-star quality like I do here anyway. But listen, I hope everybody's a great weekend. Next week on Barber's Arms, it's going to be one-stop positive vibes. Now, stories about when you're going to get back, how good you're going to be.
Yeah, that's what we're definitely. Just on that note, I've just checked my mileage on my motor, you know, and at the moment it's doing about a month to the gallon.
Yeah, same. I think
I've done more on Strava than I have in my car.
Yeah, he's got one of them battery bikes, by the way, everybody. Don't let him think he's doing lots of fucking work on Strava on his bike. I filled up on the way back from Wahl when we did that photo shoot, which then I never went back. I've never been back to work since, which was about 10 weeks ago. And I think I filled my tank once, which is about 50 quid. So it's doing 50, 60 quid to 10 weeks, which that car does about 60, 70 quid every other day. So it's fetched the mileage down. I'll do a new car at the end of this month. But that's not going to be till probably August now. But look, I'm not bothered. My family's safe. My family's well. We're going to get back. We're going to do it. And I feel like, as I said to you all, let's just keep our heads up, and hopefully things will not be put back anymore, and we will be able to move forward together. Gary, it's been a pleasure again on Barber's Arms. Love you, baby.
Love you, baby.
Nice. Have a nice weekend. I'm sure I'll speak to you all tomorrow at breakfast, like we normally have a debrief tomorrow morning. But thanks for everybody for watching, and who watches over the next few days at home. Thanks for watching Barber's Arms, and over to Mr. Machin to have the final word.
Fantastic, everybody. Thanks for watching, and enjoy remember, it's a bank holiday weekend. We are on the May Day bank holiday weekend, so we'll love you out there. Have a great time. Stay safe. Don't travel too far. Love you all. See you later, mate.